To be making this clear, I am a Trekkie, and this is really only going to make sense to Trekkies. And anyway, original series. Okay, to explain what this is me going to be rating all Star Trek properties on this list. Where? I'm going to be blunt, I haven't watched some of these. But anyway, basically, this is all Star Trek. These are all movies or series of Star Trek. To at least possibly Discovery, maybe to the newer series, but I don't think the Star Trek Academy is on this. But anyway, I'm going to start with the original series. And I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to put that in B tier. It is still great, don't get me wrong. The original crew was amazing, but I haven't watched much of the Star Trek original series in a long time. Star Trek, the motion picture. I'm going to politely say and below, and I'm going to just say this is going to be the pile of movies or shows I have not watched. Okay. That goes there. Motion picture, I have not seen it. I cannot have an opinion on it. Just to be fair. Star Trek the original series. Or the animated series. Not watched it. Star Trek the Wrath of Khan. I don't believe I've watched it. Star Trek the Search for Spock. This goes up here. Because I've actually watched this, and in my opinion, I haven't watched it in a while, I'm going off of memory, but honestly, I think it's a good movie. But that could be my rose-tinted glasses reminding me. Anyway, Star Trek The Voyage Home, never watched it. Star Trek The Final Frontier, I don't believe I've watched it. Actually, okay. Star Trek 3, yeah, I don't believe I watched that. Anyway, we're actually getting to the ding. Okay, okay. I'm practically going to be putting a lot of movies in the I have not watched category. And I have no idea what that is. Star Trek Generations. Oh boy, I don't believe I've watched that. I don't believe so. Anyway, I have watched Star Trek Next Generation. And I'm going to be blunt, putting it in C tier. I'm going to make a lot of people angry in this video. Because I know a lot of people like Star Trek The Next Generation, and the fact it has a whole lot more series than the original series. But I will say this. Even though the Star Trek original series is hard for me to watch because it's decently old and I can only reliably watch it in the older cuts, not the HD. In my opinion, it is slightly better, but I haven't watched it in a while. But I honestly will say Star Trek The Next Generation is below the original series. Anyway, this movie Star Trek First Contact will go in this column. Because, in my opinion, it is a good movie. And honestly, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say it is honestly a very good movie, especially with the plot points it has, especially showing the more human parts of humanity. But anyway, I have never watched that. Oh boy. Yeah, I've never watched that. Yeah, I'm gonna just say this. I've never watched most of these movies. Like, most of them I've never watched. Anyway, now to the most controversial choice. Deep Space Nine gets a S tier. It is my favorite series. You can go in the comments and yell at me later. Voyager. Let's go to the place it goes. There it goes. Voyager. F tier. It stays in F tier because it's trying to be Star Trek Next Generation, but it's trying too hard. And yes, I will stand on that hill. Deep Space Nine gets S tier, where Voyager gets F tier. And Star Trek Enterprise. Yeah, I'm going to put it in my spot because personally I've always liked Star Trek Enterprise. Sure, it's not as good as Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but in my opinion it's always the show I'd rather watch if I couldn't watch Deep Space Nine. And again, it shows the more human parts of humanity. Even though it still has the wonder of the future. And the Kelvin timeline book. Kelvin movies. I'm gonna put this in C tier because I can't remember, but I believe I watched this. Star Trek. Oh boy, I have no idea. I don't believe I've watched Star Trek into Star Trek the Future series. Star Trek into Darkness, I don't think so. Star Trek Beyond, I don't think so. Now to the Future series. Discovery. It's a mixed bag altogether. I'm not going to reveal anything if anyone hasn't watched it, but let's just say it's a very, I'm not going to say it doesn't have good episodes. It does. But let's just say it's a roller coaster of quality, and personally, it goes into C tier. It is worse than Star Trek Next Generation, but personally, I feel like it goes in that spot. And now, oh my god, okay, Star Trek. I'm gonna be putting this in B tier. Star Trek Short Treks. Honestly, those are funny and hilarious, and I remember the Tribble one. That honestly is amazing to watch. Star Trek Picard. Season. Oh wait, are they doing this by season? No, they are. Okay. Star Trek Picard. I honestly can't say too much about it because I've only watched possibly an episode. Possibly barely even that. And I have not watched season 2 of Picard, so it's going into that pile. And wow, I see the fact I have not watched a lot of Star Trek. I need to get that subscription going. And Star Trek Lower Decks, I'm putting that in A tier. Sure, it's a comedy, and honestly, it's a bit heavy-handed sometimes, but personally, it's a good show. And personally, it does better than what Voyager tries to do by trying to have the similar feel to Next Generation. Or at least that's my opinion. Now, Strange New Worlds. I'm gonna have to put this in the not seen column, because I have not seen it. And this Prodigy goes in C tier, because I've watched, I believe, the first season, I think? Or, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was good, but not great. 8. But, well, oh, anyway, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of my list? Please put in the comments what you guys think of this list. Because, honestly, I'm curious.